You think the most terrifying sound is silence? No. It's a sound from a place where silence is a mercy. It's the sound a pious nun claimed to have heard. The sound of children. Children in hell. And they weren't crying for their mothers. They were cursing them. They were screaming the names of the very parents who brought them into the world, blaming them for their eternal damnation. This isn't a fairy tale. It's a warning, a message carried back from the abyss, and it's about the single greatest mistake a parent can make. Her name, as recorded in the obscure annals of her convent, was Sister Josepha Menendez, a Spanish nun from the early 20th century, known not for grand miracles, but for a quiet, profound devotion. She didn't seek visions. She sought only a humble life of prayer and service. But sometimes, messages of great importance are not given to the proud, but to the humble. On a night like any other, as she knelt in the cold chapel, the world she knew dissolved. It wasn't a dream. It was a descent. She felt a chilling pull, a spiritual gravity dragging her soul downward through layers of reality into a place of profound and utter darkness. The air grew thick, heavy with despair, and the faint scent of burning sulfur filled her senses. And that's when she heard it. The chorus of the damned. If you find this story compelling, consider subscribing. We explore messages like these to understand their meaning for us today. The first souls she saw were children who had wanted for nothing in life. Their parents had given them everything money could buy: the best schools, the latest gadgets, designer clothes, extravagant vacations. They had every material comfort, every worldly advantage, but their souls were starving. Now, in this place of eternal want, they screamed curses of a particular kind. "You gave me a tablet to keep me quiet, but you never gave me a prayer to give me peace," one shrieked. Another voice, filled with acidic rage, echoed, "You taught me how to invest in stocks, but you never taught me to invest in my soul. You filled my belly but let my spirit die of thirst." These were the children of indifference. Their parents weren't malicious. They were just busy. They outsourced their spiritual duty to schools, or, more often, to nothing at all. They thought providing a good life meant providing goods. They didn't understand they were raising well-fed, well-educated bodies with hollowed-out souls, perfectly prepared for the emptiness of hell. Sister Josepha was then shown another group. These were not children of neglect, but of radical permissiveness. Their parents had wanted to be their friend, not their authority. They set no boundaries, no curfews, no moral lines. "We want them to be free," they would say. "We don't want to be strict like our parents were." So they allowed everything. The rated movies, the unsupervised parties, the disrespect, the gradual slide into moral decay. They celebrated their children's freedom, but never taught them about responsibility. And now, those children cursed that very freedom. "You let me do whatever I wanted," a young man's voice roared. "And now I am bound in chains I forged myself. Your weakness, you called it love," a young woman's voice sobbed with fury. "You wanted to be my friend so badly that you forgot to be my parent. You never said no. And now I am in a place where the answer is no for all eternity." They were damned by a lack of guidance, cast into the abyss because their parents were too afraid of a temporary tantrum to save them from a permanent torment. Then came the most heartbreaking scene of all. A region filled with the children of hypocrites. These were the sons and daughters of parents who spoke the language of faith but lived the language of the world. Parents who dragged their kids to church on Sunday only to spend the afternoon gossiping about the other parishioners. Fathers who lectured about honesty but bragged about cheating the system. Mothers who spoke of kindness but were cruel to their own family behind closed doors. The children saw it all. They saw the mask, and it taught them one thing, that faith was a performance, a lie. Their parents' words pointed to heaven, but their actions paved a wide, comfortable road straight to hell, and they dragged their children down it with them. "You told me to honor God," one cried, "but you honored money. Your hypocrisy was the only catechism I ever truly learned," another screamed. "You condemned the sins of others from your armchair while indulging your own in secret. You taught me that God's law was a joke, and now I am the punchline." This was different from hypocrisy. It was more direct. Sister Josepha saw the children of parents who simply lived sinful lives openly. They didn't even pretend. The home was filled with casual cursing, with cruelty, with impurity, with a love for worldly things above all else. A child's soul is like wet cement. Whatever falls on it makes an impression. These parents had filled their children's minds and hearts with the filth of their own lives. They modeled selfishness, and their children became selfish. They modeled anger, and their children became angry. They modeled deceit, and their children became liars. They never sat their children down and taught them to be evil. They didn't have to. The children learned by watching. They simply became what they saw. Their curses were chillingly simple. "Every lie you told, I learned. Every cruel word you spoke, I repeated. My soul is a mirror of yours, and now we are shattered together in this darkness." Overwhelmed with horror, Sister Josepha cried out in her spirit, "Why? How is this just? They are only children." And a voice, clear and powerful, answered her. It was her guardian angel, standing beside her in the gloom. The angel explained the terrible sacred logic of it all. "God does not send these souls here," the angel stated, its voice resonating with sorrow and truth. "They choose this place by the sum of their lives. And a parent holds the chisel that first shapes the child's will." The angel continued, explaining that parents are given a sacred trust, a co-creative power with God Himself. They are the first apostles to their own children. Their home is the first church. Their words are the first gospel. When they fail in this duty, they don't just neglect the child's body or mind, they endanger their immortal soul. The angel elaborated on this profound responsibility. Every choice a parent makes echoes in their child's eternity, it said. The prayer they forget to teach, the lie they tell in the child's presence, the anger they indulge in, the moral lesson they are too tired to impart. These are not small things. They are the seeds of heaven or hell, planted in the most fertile soil on earth. The vision made it clear that God holds parents to an incredibly high standard. It's not enough to just love your children. A parent must love them enough to guide them, to correct them, to discipline them, and to model a life of virtue for them. To love a child's body but neglect their soul is a terrifying form of spiritual malpractice. The angel showed her that while every soul has free will, a parent's influence creates the very path the child walks. It is the parent's duty to ensure that path leads toward the light, not away from it. Then, the angel delivered the core of the warning, the message Sister Josepha was to carry back. It was a call to action for all parents, in all times. The first duty is prayer, not just your own prayers, but teaching your children to pray, to build a relationship with their Creator. A child who knows how to speak to God will never be truly alone. Prayer is the shield of the soul. Parents who do not arm their children with this shield are sending them into a spiritual battle completely defenseless. It is not the school's job, it is not the church's job alone. It is the parents' fundamental responsibility to get on their knees with their children and show them the way. This is the first and most powerful line of defense against the darkness that seeks to claim them. The second duty is the duty of example. The angel was adamant. Your children will listen to what you say, but they will become who you are. You cannot teach what you do not live. If you want your children to be patient, you must be patient. If you want them to be honest, you must be honest. If you want them to be faithful, you must be faithful. Your life is a sermon. Every single day, you are preaching to your children with your actions. Is it a sermon of hope, faith, and love, or is it a sermon of anger, materialism, and hypocrisy? There is no middle ground. You are their primary role model. The world will offer them thousands of corrupting influences. Your example must be the strongest, the clearest, and the most consistent voice in their lives. The third duty, and perhaps the most unpopular in the modern world, is the duty of discipline. The vision showed that undisciplined children become adults, enslaved by their own passions. Permissiveness is not love, it is abandonment. To love a child is to give them the gift of boundaries. To say no is an act of profound love. It teaches them self-control, respect, and the understanding that actions have consequences. Parents who fail to discipline their children are not saving them from temporary unhappiness. They are failing to prepare them for a world of rules, laws, and moral truths. Loving discipline is the framework that allows a child's character to grow strong and straight. Without it, the soul grows wild and crooked, easily entangled by sin. This vision, from a century ago, has never been more relevant. We live in an age of mass distraction. The sin of indifference? It's the parent handing a child a screen instead of a conversation. The sin of permissiveness? It's the fear of being judged by other parents, of not being progressive enough, leading to a total collapse of moral authority. The sin of hypocrisy? It's curating a perfect family image online, while the real home is filled with discord. The forces pulling at our children are stronger than ever. The world is actively trying to teach them that there is no truth, no sin, and no consequence. This is not a time for passive parenting. It is a time for intentional, courageous, and countercultural parenting. It requires actively choosing to put your child's eternal well-being above their temporary happiness, above social trends, and above your own comfort. The message from this vision is not meant to inspire despair, but to ignite a revolution of responsibility. It is a terrifying warning, but it contains within it a seed of incredible hope. The hope is this: it's not too late. The influence of a parent is powerful enough to lead a child astray, but it is also powerful enough to bring them back. It starts today. It starts with admitting your own failings. It starts with prayer, not just for your child, but for yourself, for the strength and wisdom to be the parent they need. It starts with one small, consistent change. Turn off the TV during dinner. Read a book about faith together. Apologize when you are wrong, showing them what humility looks like. You don't have to be a perfect parent. No one is. But you must be a repentant parent, a trying parent, a praying parent. That is what God asks. Sister Josepha Menendez carried this burden for the rest of her life. The screams of those children, cursing the parents they once loved, never left her. She understood that she had been shown the ultimate consequence of a failed sacred duty. The vision wasn't just about souls in hell. It was about the power we have, right now, in our own homes, to shape eternity. The choice is yours. The warning has been given. What will you do with it? I'm deeply interested to hear your thoughts. What is the greatest challenge for parents in today's world? Please share your perspective in the comments below.